It's Lagos Television, and we're reaching you live from the studios to actually discuss the speech of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which was just delivered some minutes back. Recall that there had been issues in the Rivers State, between the Rivers State House of Assembly and also the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and that actually has led to the state of emergency in Rivers State. We just saw where the president just said for 6 months now, situations will be looked at to see if it improves. Then the next step will be taken. Of course, we also know that it has also been gazetted, and of course, that will be transmitted to the National Assembly to make it formal, being a democratic system of governance that we're running in Nigeria. You're welcome to Lagos Television again, and that's what we're discussing tonight. With me is Joshua Morakinyo. Joshua, nice to have you.
It's a pleasure, and of course, it's unprecedented for so many people who are political observers and have studied the history of this country. Know that this is perhaps what is likely to happen, considering the impasse that we've seen in Rivers State for the past almost 2 years since this administration of Siminalayi Fubara came into existence. The impasse between the governor and the members of the House of Assembly has got to its fevered pitch, especially in these past couple of days, where we have two arms of government not seeing correspondence from each other. You have the governor transmitting messages to the House not seeing it. The members of the House transmitting to the governor said, we have not seen anything. And that has led to this, especially, it was as if I could see the crystal ball when my colleague in the office said, the president is going to have an emergency broadcast of the by 7 this evening. And I said, there's nothing else the president wants to talk, especially considering that the president met with the service chiefs earlier today. It's going to be a state of emergency, and that's what we've seen with the president's speech.
I'm wondering why this is actually happening now, because there had been opportunities for both the Rivers State lawmakers and the governor to make peace. Recall that some months back, the president also stepped in, met with the lawmakers, met with the governor and even the FCT minister and all the other factions, and said, look, go back to Rivers State, make peace so that things can get better. It also happened some weeks back, or last week, right, when Pandef, that group, went to the president to actually tell him to actually step into the matter. But he also told them that, look, go back to Rivers State, solve those issues. But I'm wondering why they are not able to solve this kind of issue, that it has now degenerated so much to this level that a state of emergency had to be created. What do you make of the president's decision?
Well, I think for so many political observers and watchers, this is the best decision, and of course, swiftly, for that matter, the president took to bring some kind of peace and tranquility to Rivers State. Of course, it will also help the people of Rivers State, because we have so many log jams in Rivers. We have so many egos playing out, from the former governor of Rivers State, some Wike, to the present one, Siminalayi, is perhaps, in quote, his mentee, his political son, now turning to a feud, all blown out war in Rivers State. And of course, it has gotten to its head when, between yesterday and today, you have a situation where we have explosions affecting pipelines installation of federal government. I know that one in Trans Amadi. I know another one happened this evening as well. You have a situation. Don't forget, Rivers State is very peculiar. It is a political hotbed for so many people that has followed the history of politics in this country. You know better than I do that when it comes to Rivers State, it's a measure. There's a way you gauge the political temperature of the country, because you know that that's the place you get to know. In the last election, you have them going on the side of the president, and when it comes to the state government, they went for PDP, the governor, while the president is APC, and the vote was massive in the state. So they are very politically aware in Rivers State, but it has gotten to a point where all the elders, I say it with all sense of humility and responsibility, that the elders in Rivers State do not help matters as far as this impasse is concerned. They have also fueled the political crisis in Rivers State. You have so many of them not staying on the side of truth. They don't want peace. I remember some of the elders, as soon as the president met with Seminary, the first initial meeting with Wike, and they came up and they signed a resolution, the elders were the first people that came out to say, President has no say as far as Rivers State is concerned. They will solve their matter by themselves.
Yes, now, of course, nobody would say the president has no say now because he is the president.
The chicken has finally come to roost.
Yes, the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And he will not sit down in Abuja, watch things like this degenerate to this level. Now, I'm wondering why, because if you recall, just like you mentioned, months back, years back, meetings were held. And at the end of the day, the president told them, look, you have to find a way out of this issue. They signed an undertaking that they would go back to Rivers State to actually maintain peace. Now, from the grapevine and from what we have seen and heard, the Wike faction stood by what the president said. But from what happened or transpired from what we saw, as soon as the governor, Similari Fubara team, got back to Rivers State, I don't know who advised him or who told him one of them. And they did not implement their side of it.
Everything that could go wrong in a democracy or everything that could go on in a society that do not respect the Constitution of the Federal Republic, if we're looking at the 1999 Constitution as amended, went wrong in Rivers State. You have a situation where the governor was working with a budget that was passed by 3 members of the State Houses of Assembly. You have a situation where the governor said, I do not recognize all of you, the majority of the members of, and elected an independent arm of government in Rivers State. You have a situation where the members as well, eventually when the court gave them a judgment in their favor, they wanted to actually take it out on the governor. Everyone can see the handwriting on the wall that members of the State House of Assembly want to actually take their own pound of flesh from the governor.
Let me ask you this question before you go further, because Nigerians and those watching us outside Nigeria would wonder and say, okay, when we do calculations, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get to 30 or 35. Can 3 or 4 lawmakers override the interest of about 27 lawmakers in mathematics?
It doesn't know. That mathematics actually worked for the past 1 year plus in Rivers State, until the Supreme Court gave its verdict a few weeks ago. Now, until that time, the governor would have continued for the next 4 years or his term.
With 4 lawmakers?
With 3 lawmakers, because one of the lawmakers became I think is one of his aides, either the SSG to the governor, while three others continue to sit in the government. Now, don't forget, this whole part has gone on for a long time. The governor himself walked into the complex of the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly to demolish their building.
I'm wondering why that happened, because to me, it was politically motivated, because you have a building where you have the lawmakers sitting legitimately there, and suddenly you just woke up one day and you took bulldozers there to demolish that place that it needed to be renovated. Wasn't that the beginning of issues?
Like I said, everything that could go wrong in politics went wrong in Rivers State. From the beginning to the end. It's like a movie. And it has played out till this particular final season closure, where the president had to declare a state of emergency. And if you look at what the president said, perhaps we'll just take a look at some of the talking points of the president. The president said some militant had threatened fire and brimstone against the perceived enemy of the governor, who has up till now not disowned them. Apart from that, both the House and the governor have not been able to work together. Both of them do not realize that they are in office to work together for the peace and good governance of the state. I think this is very, very critical and important. You have a situation where both of them are working at cross purposes. The members of the House of Assembly were elected members. The same thing for the governor. But you have a situation where the governor didn't actually want to see them because he sees them as enemies of his political will or political aspiration. You have a situation, till now, I can't figure out exactly what the cause of the problem is in Rivers State, apart from the fact that the governor feels that his former boss is bearing down on him. The situation also got to its head when you have a situation where the former governor do not allow the people or the governor of Rivers State to breathe. It was as if he was choking him and snuffing life out of his existence. And I think this is the political impasse that we've got into, and the state of emergency is the way to resolve this.
Yes. I want to say categorically that using Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution by the President is a step in the right direction to ensure peace and stability in Nigeria. And it also is a proactive measure taken by the President to ensure that there is peace and development. One thing is clear, since the two factions have been taken out through the state of emergency, obviously it is a balanced situation now, and of course retired Rear Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas will take over with other security agencies to ensure that peace and stability returns to Rivers State. I want to thank you so much, Joshua, for being part of this short discussion.
A very unique one at that.
Yes. On that note, we've come to the end of this discussion. I want to believe that peace and stability will continue to reign in Nigeria and also in Rivers State so that things can get better. I am Omololu Rosanwo saying bye-bye.